The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. You. It's for you. Can you sing it with me, baby? Can you sing it with me?
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lady J. I am back, y'all. I am not on radio air tonight. However, we will be on JQLM radio on air the fourth Thursday of the month. So welcome back to Relationshipology every second and fourth Thursday of the month. And I just wanted to do a pop-up show tonight, y'all, because I got one more day before I am released fully from the doctor. And I just felt like I wanted to come back on here and me and Keith Omar and chop it up on a topic that is really popular right now because after browsing some on social media for a little bit, trying to catch up, man, it's a lot going on, a whole lot going on. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But before we get into that, if this is your first time tuning in and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, then this is what you would tell them because you want them to know how they can tune in. Of course, the JQLM radio, right? Absolutely right. So let's see. You want to have them.
If this is your first time tuning into the show or to JQLM Radio and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQLM Radio 24/7, 365 via Amazon Alexa, TuneIn app, the Stream and Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find located on our website where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us. We do follow back. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. You can also connect with Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EGOENTNET on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. Also, connect with us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network, at youtube.com/Ego TV Network.
All right. And so that is how you tune in to JQLM Radio. And for those of you who have peeped it out already, we do have a new look on JQLM Radio. And however, our app also is being upgraded. So for those of you who cannot tune in via app, just hold tight. Everything is being upgraded. Listen, we've gone to another level, so it's time to up the ante on everything, right? Right. So listen, let's get into this topic though. So Keith Omar, tonight's topic. Who has it worse, men or women? This I have been seeing floating around. Who has it worse, men or women? So listen, I have gone over a long list of things on the things women deal with when it comes to dating or being in relationships or marriages and men. And I'm just going to venture to say men have it worse. Sorry, ladies. I'm not one of those ladies who are going to be on your side just because you're a woman or just because you're a female. I'm going to say men have it worse. And and let's be clear, I have a mother of both girls and boys. So I have to be very cognizant of the fact of what I say, how I move, how I act, what I teach my children, on both sides. So what are your thoughts?
I totally agree. I do believe men have it a little tougher because we're talking about dating. And in the dating aspect, as you know, I'm a firm believer of a man should lead. So everything that happens first, he's doing first. So whatever it is that he wants you to do for him, he's showing you a level of that before he asks of you.
Right.
So and then also let's just talk about these expectations. You know, whew, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about these expectations.
Look,
It's
that's where I think that's where the breakdown comes in at though. Those expectations.
yeah,
So let's
yeah.
start the conversation there because for those of you who are this your first time tuning into relationshipology, I know we usually have guests and stuff. We are supposed to have a guest tonight, but he may be running behind and Odile has been feeling kind of under the weather as well. But so we address the topic, the issue at hand, and then we offer some solutions, some lessons. So let's talk about
Hmm.
these expectations first. Who has it worse, men or women? So let's dive into that first.
The
I
expectation
mean,
of
go
men
ahead.
is
What
ridiculous. You know,
starting off like first meeting?
all right. So first meeting, I lost you for a second. I can't see you, but I can hear you. I don't know why I can't see you.
Oh Lord, I can hear you. I
Hold
can
on.
hear you too. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on.
Yeah, that was on my end.
Okay.
Something popped up and blocked that up. All right, but you can hear me, so I'm gonna talk and then when you start speaking, I'll figure this out. But
Okay.
so I can't be so you can't see me at all, right?
No, I can see you. You just
Okay,
froze, but I
I
can hear
just
you.
right, I just right. Okay, cool. So the expectation. So before I get off into talking about
Up. I just lost Keith Omar. So until he comes back, I am going to talk about the expectations. So the expectations that women have when you all first meet a guy is beyond me. I mean, it is ridiculous. And when I say women, I'm talking about all of these new age women. I don't know what cloth y'all are cut from or who raised you all, but it is ridiculous. I literally watched a guy on a podcast share that he approached a young lady, asked to take her out, and her requirement was that he spend $400 on her. And Keith Omar has joined us again.
right.
Her requirement was that he spend $400 on her on the first date on food alone at a restaurant. I have seen this time and time again, and we're gonna go into expectations first. We only got an hour, so we're gonna cover a lot when
Hmm.
it comes to who has it worse. I mean, and this man was like $400. It wasn't that he didn't have it, but first of all, ma'am, he don't even know if he likes you like that. He doesn't know if you're intelligent. He don't know if you have anything to bring to the table. I mean, here's the thing: women, you should not be requiring a man to take you out anywhere that you can afford to take yourself. That's all I'm gonna say right there. You're setting an expectation for somebody that you don't even meet. You can't afford to take yourself out on a $400 date, and yet you want this man to do that for you. And another thing is, you all will expect if the date doesn't go well, because let's just be honest, there are a lot of women out here who are extremely rude. If you don't like a man or if you're not feeling him, it's okay to say, you know what? I appreciate, for taking your time out, bringing me out, but I don't think this is going to work. And so I just would like to call it a evening early. Now, some of you are just disrespectful. Excuse me, y'all. You're disrespectful. You're mean, for no reason. And then when he gets up and leave you at that table, and then you can't afford to pay for your own food because you decided to come out of the house and go outside with no money. Now you're sitting there looking looking stupid.
What's even
So,
funnier
what's
to
your
me in
thought?
that situation is in a situation like that, she'll actually hop on her live and talk about how lame the dude was for leaving her there. That is hilarious to me. That'd be the funniest to me. I be sitting there thinking to myself, like, who raised you? You know what? I know who raised them. Social media and
That
reality
part.
TV.
That part.
Social
That part.
media and reality TV raised them. That's who
Yeah.
raised them.
So
'Cause,
having those expectations, and I think women have the most realistic expectations.
yeah, I believe they have the most unrealistic
I'm sorry. Can you
expectations
hear
as
me?
well.
I
Yeah.
think Yeah, I think women have the most unrealistic expectations when it comes to uh, dating, at the very first steps. I don't believe any woman should expect a man, first of all, to pay her bills, to buy your children food unless it's a family day. If he has kids and you have kids and y'all have agreed that you're going to bring your kids to the first date or whatever, fine. I don't agree with that because I don't believe
Yeah,
in letting strangers meet my kids first time, but
yeah,
some of us do that. So if you're expecting this man to, pay your bills, give you money and all this other kind of stuff, and this your first date, or expecting him to spend 400, 500, 600, $1,000 on the first date, it is absolutely ridiculous. For those of you who have this mindset that you're worth more than going to coffee or a walk in the park or, shoot, even a fast food place or a poetry joint or whatever, or you're too good to go to the Cheesecake Factory. You have lost your ever loving mind. You're lucky that this man even approached you in the first place, to ask you to get to know you. That's what a date is about. It's not about you trying to, break his pockets. Because again, he doesn't know if he loves you. And he doesn't know if he likes you. And let's just be honest. If he's spending that kind of money on you the first day, you might as well just start you an escort service.
real
I mean,
talk,
let's just keep it 100. You
real
might as well
talk.
just start escort service because it's basically what you're doing. That's
Hey,
what you're doing.
I call it undercover prostitution.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
It's
What it is.
undercover
Okay, so let's
prostitution.
go into let's go into who has it worse when it comes to starting. Because let's just be honest, men, they don't really have any expectations
We
when it
don't.
comes to first date.
We
They're
so don't.
unrealistic expectations is what I
No,
mean.
we don't.
Now
No,
you
we
do have
don't.
those who expect to have sex with a woman at the end of the night if he
Hmm.
spends a certain amount of money on her or if he's buying her drinks. Now that concept I don't get either because I mean to me
It's crazy.
everybody
It's
ain't
crazy.
like that, and I don't even know why you would want to do that because you don't know what this person has. You
There's
can't
too
tell
much in
by
the
looking at
world
them.
going on. There's too much in the world
Exactly,
going on.
exactly. So let's talk about the expectations though when it comes to I'll say relationship.
All right.
Because you have women saying they're not going to do wife things, and some men now are talking about things that they're not going to do or things that aren't their responsibility until they become a woman's husband. So, what
I'm
say
gonna I'm
you?
gonna I'm gonna tell you what, because I keep my ears to the ground, especially with the fellas, because I mentor a lot of younger dudes, in they early mid 20s, and
Hmm.
I've been around a lot of my young guys for 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I've mentored some of these dudes when we talking before I even had my son.
Hmm.
My son 18 now, so I've been around a lot of these guys for a long time, and I understand it's a great responsibility
Hmm.
because a lot of these young men didn't have active fathers in their life. So I played the big homie. I was
Hmm.
the big homie. I was Uncle Keith or Uncle O or uh, OG. But
Hmm.
so and you know how I am. I'm all about making sure that these dudes' heads is on straight.
Hmm.
We got too many knuckleheads in the world running around. So um, I would always challenge them to think about what it is they want for their future versus what it is that they want right now.
Right.
And because in a nutshell, when you're 23 years old, you ain't thinking about what things are going like when you're 33 or 43.
Right.
You're just not. So I'm constantly reminding them about, hey, we playing this long game called life. We ain't playing the short game called life. The short game called
Yeah.
life, that sucks
Right. Right.
because
Right.
you gonna do everything you gonna try to live life in a 5 to 8 year vacuum.
Right.
And when you do that, you living
Mhm.
fast.
So in that relationship phase,
Hmm.
when you're in a committed relationship, working your way towards, a engagement or marriage, what unrealistic or who do you think has it worse in that? Because you really have a lot of women
I'm
talking about
I'm
what
a,
they're not going to do,
I'm gonna
and
be
then,
honest. I believe men have it like nowadays. Nowadays,
hmm
I believe men have it worse due to the fact that we are in a new day and time.
hmm
Example, our generation is the generation that bridged, traditional um, relationships to this modern day new relationship thing.
right,
Um, like I was just telling a friend yesterday, my mom and my father, they was married for over 50 years before my father passed away.
So my grandparents. Yep.
I'll be I'll be 50 on August the 25th. My whole
Mm-hmm.
entire life, I have never, ever, 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 ever seen my mother do half the stuff a lot of these women have to do. Kudos to the ladies that got
Mm-hmm.
to do half the stuff. But also, a
Right.
lot of the stuff that you have to do is not things that you actually really have to do. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
women are killing the whole idea of gender roles. And I believe gender
Mm-hmm.
roles help preserve order of how a relationship should be, taken care of or
Right.
handled.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, we were talking earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about, there's just certain things like there's certain things that bother me if I see a woman do, not just
Right.
my woman, you know what I'm saying, but
Right.
any
Right.
woman,
Any woman.
especially
Right.
one I know. So about 10 days ago, I went to the gas station. I was pumping gas in the truck, and a young lady pulled up, and the dude was in the passenger side. She went inside. She came out with some
Mm-hmm.
swishers. She opened the door and tossed the swishers over to him on his lap, and then she proceeded to start pumping her gas. Before she
Mm-hmm.
could take the nozzle off and put it in, I stopped her. I stopped her. I was like, hold on. I got this. And she stood there, and she was kind of like, looking around like, nah, you can't do that. I was like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
if he thought it was important enough, you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be standing here grabbing his pump. Go ahead and get in the car. I was
Right.
like,
Right.
I said, now, if he the dude I think he should be, he'll get
Mm-hmm.
up and he'll try to come out here. If he don't, you should get rid of him. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
told her. So he gets up and he's like, oh, big homie, I got that. I was like, no, I got it. I was like, you seem to be occupied. And he just kind
Mm-hmm.
of looked at me. And he was like, no, man, I insist. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. So as he came over to him, I introduced myself and I shook his hand. I said, hey, listen, this ain't my car. This is
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's car. And I don't want her
Right.
out here pumping gas because it's too cold for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got the car over here pumping gas. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, now, I said, if you claim that woman and you out and about in public with her, then
Mm-hmm.
at the very least you need to make sure she's taken care of. Don't
Right.
have her out here doing something. I said, don't have her out here doing something that you wouldn't allow another man to do.
Right.
I said,
But
because
you know
that's how
what?
you get.
I can
I
unpack a
told him,
lot in that whole
mm-hmm,
situation though. Because
yeah,
first
me
of
too.
all, not only did she go into the gas station, she went in, got him something. I promise you she spent her own money on that. Okay, let's just clear. And it was probably her car. She came out of the gas station, gave him the swishers, closed the door, and then pumped the gas herself with him in the car. Everything about that is wrong. You know what I'm
Wrong,
saying?
wrong. But you
Everything
know what?
about that is
You,
wrong.
you
And
you know what's real bad about that though? The thing that kills me about this is the dude didn't know no better.
hmm
I mean,
now,
honestly, mm-hmm,
in that sense,
he,
I believe that in the relationship phase, I think
mm-hmm,
men and women have it equally hard. Now, in the
me
in
too.
the in the beginning phase, men definitely have it worse.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
let me just back up for just a second.
Okay.
Men are now speaking up about women being money hungry, being gold diggers and looking for someone to quote unquote take care of them. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say take care of them, I mean like if you are an adult female, that means I'm not even gonna say 21 because at that point you're really not an adult. You don't have the social, mental, emotional, or financial skills to take care of yourself. 100%. Let me just say maybe 27 and up, but especially if you're 30 and over, it is called adulting, being able to keep a roof over your head, to keep food in your belly, to keep a steady job or run a legit business, be able to pay all of your utilities, have your own vehicle or some means of transportation, even if you are someone that prefers public transportation, being able to pay for that. All of these things require you to be an adult. Okay, that is called adulting. And the mere fact that women have this notion now that men have to literally on the first encounter be dishing out hundreds and thousands of dollars for you and to be able to cash app you and help you pay bills, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are literally letting this man know that you do not bring anything to the table except yourself. Because I
Also,
heard a
what
man
she's
ask,
saying,
go ahead.
also what she's saying is she's legalizing prostitution.
That basically, yeah, basically.
That's what she's
Hey,
saying.
Tasha. Hey. She said, hey, Keith.
What up?
And
What
Denise said,
up?
where they do that at? Shoot, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Denise, everywhere. Everywhere. So I literally, it makes me cringe because as a female who's been on her own since 15. Now, granted, I didn't ask to be, but I've always worked two jobs. When I had children, when I didn't have children, and so I believe that every woman, if you're a believer or not, whether you're a believer or not, whether you believe in God or not, at the end of the day, culturally, women have certain qualities and characteristics that they need to meet, or standards that they need to meet in order to be deemed as a good woman or a wife material. Every culture, the man is the head, the woman, what I'm saying, is the neck, basically. You work together. So in the dating phase or in the relationship or committed relationship phase, hey y'all, hey, in the committed relationship, make sure y'all share, have your people join because we're not on radio air tonight, but we're on social media only. So in the dating phase, you have men like that don't know what it is to be a man. When your woman is with you, she shouldn't be pumping gas. If you're walking outside, you need to be walking on the outside of her, making
Hmm.
sure that paying attention to your surroundings and things of that sort. But also in the dating phase, some men who are taught, they take out the trash if he's at your house, what I'm saying? He may say, call you on a regular basis, not text. He may text you too, but actually pick up the phone, call you. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Do you need anything? Or just, regular conversation. And he cares about your well-being. Women, we have this notion that because the man, if you call him, if you are laying down with somebody or you're in a relationship with somebody, you can't call him when you got a flat tire to come help you, then you don't need to be dealing with him. We're talking about in a committed relationship now. Now, if that man
Hell,
is,
I take it a step further. I believe a man should be doing that if you all are dating.
yeah, yeah, dating
Period.
too. But
Like
once
even
you've
even
gone into the
courting.
committed,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm not talking about no first date or
No.
second date. I'm
Yeah.
talking about when you decide that this is a person that you want to date, that you want to get to know
I
more
want to
about.
see often.
Right. And on the woman's side, it's like, okay, at that point on the man's side, that's him showing you one that he can lead. He's telling you, maybe what his dreams and aspirations are, where he sees himself going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about why he feels like, excuse me, why he feels like he's ready to be in a committed relationship with you and things of that sort. So he's showing you some leadership skills. He's showing you ambition because he's actually working towards the things that he says that he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? He is providing in some shape, form, or fashion. May not be paying all your bills because y'all live in separate homes, but he's helping you out every now and again, whatever you may need. As a woman, why is it that we're like, I'm not cooking for him. I'm not about to go and pick up nothing or pick up after him. What I look like taking him on a date, or what I look like, man, let me tell you how many times I have paid for a date or at least left the tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why we feel like our men should not be treated like they're valued as well. So not only do men have to deal with that aspect when it comes to relationships, committed relationships, but they also have to deal with the fact that women feel like they don't have to show either that they are, I'll say, a team player or a life partner. Because when your man is down, you ought to be able to step into whatever role or whatever situation is needed and pick up that slack. That's the beauty of having a partner. It's the same thing in business. And here's the thing: two words that women hate is submission, right? Submission, because I think that they miss the fact that it's submitting one to another. You are literally submitting to his role as your husband. He's submitting to your role as his wife. You are submitting one to another, and you're submitting to God's order. God, husband, wife, children. That is the order.
What's happening is a lot of people don't understand the concept of commitment. They don't also don't
Hmm.
understand the concept of um like you said submission. But to me, I don't want to use submitting due to the fact that I know it triggers certain folks. So I'm gonna leave submitting alone. But what I am
They need to
gonna
get
say
over
is,
it.
what I'm gonna say is, it's just being a teammate.
Yeah, that too.
It's being a
That too.
teammate. You know,
That too.
I this is what's funny. So I was telling a friend this last week. Um, I said, "Yo, I don't why." I said every now and then when we get back to our relationships and stuff now, I talk about relationships as if it's a sporting event because it's the best way for me to give you an analogy that everybody can understand. And so he's like,
Hmm.
"All right, well, break it down for me, bro." I was like, and his sister and one of her friends happened to walk in onto the conversation, and so they all sitting at the table with me, and I was like, "Well, let's say it's like a football game." I
Hmm.
was like, "Let's say I play defense, but
Hmm.
I'm not in the game right now because the offense is on the
Right.
field and they playing."
Hmm.
And I was like, "If you've ever watched a football game, how
Hmm.
often do you see a football game going on or any sporting event and people on the sideline ain't watching the game?"
Hmm.
And I said the only time that happens is if they get instructions. Other than that,
Right.
they watching to see what's going on too. I was
Right.
like, so I told him, I was like, so how I always evaluate who I want to align myself with next is I
Hmm.
watch the field. The field gonna
Right.
tell me what I need to know. Oh nope, I
Hmm.
can't be messing with her. She entertained too many clowns. You
Well.
know what I'm saying? And then women wonder why, you know, why do I keep messing with the same dudes? Because the dudes who on the sideline watching you that want to that's interested see that you deal with clowns. And because
Hmm.
you
And
deal
you
with
attract
clowns,
what
you
you
look at you as
are.
a master. Say if
Right.
he's
You
a
attract what you
ringleader,
are.
yeah, I ain't finna mess with it. He
Hmm.
looking like I ain't about to look
Right.
at. I'm not a clown, so I ain't about to be over there entertaining you like I want. That means you ain't serious
Exactly.
because you entertaining too many clowns. And you wonder
Exactly.
why you by yourself, or you wonder why a certain caliber man ain't approaching you, or you wonder why when you do approach him, he ain't taking you serious. Well, you did
Exactly.
it to yourself. I tell the dudes the
Right.
same thing. You can't run
Right.
around here chasing every skirt that you see because Shorty on the
That's it.
sideline been watching you, and she like,
Hmm.
nah, nope, I'm avoid that one when I get on the field,
Yep. And I'm
and
gonna
that's
tell
what
you what else.
happens.
For those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking about who has it worse, men or women. We talked about the initial, interaction. We feel like men have it worse when it comes to relationships or dating. We feel like it's equal there. And so before we get into talking about addressing and maybe offering some solutions to these things and
Hmm.
maybe offering a few lessons, let's go into situationships or when it comes
Mm.
to children, because I think that when it comes to children, I believe that men have it worse when they had to lay down with women who are not mature mentally and emotionally. All right. And women have it worse when they choose to lay down with men who are, and no, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that, I'm going to say
I
men have
think
it
it's
worse
equal.
because women, we choose, because here's the thing, we will watch a man's actions, okay, and go off of what he says, okay, because of how it makes us feel versus what he
The
actually does. And
reality
we
of
end
it.
up putting, exactly, and we put our own selves in those situations and we never hold ourselves accountable. And I
Mm.
think the
Oh, you
reason
said the word.
exactly, when it comes to children and situationships, I believe men have it worse because women lack accountability. And I am speaking as a woman who used to be a young woman who grew up in a lot of abuse and trauma. And I had to learn how to be held accountable for my own actions. And another woman, another sister friend of mine, shout out to Miss Demetria, she is the one that taught me that and brought that to my attention because she pulled me to the side. Look, girl, I'm sick of you always talking about he did this and he did that. Yes, he did do that. But when are you going to start taking accountability for your actions and your decisions and stuff? Because had you not done A, B, C, D, you wouldn't be in this position. Now, I was like, who the hell is she talking to? But she was right. She was right. Once I got with myself and God got with me, I had to take accountability for my choices and my actions, you know? So, hey, Kim. Hey, JC. Hey. And I think we as women, we lack that. And we want our girlfriends to always be rah, 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 have our back just because we're women. No, ma'am, that's not a good friend. That's not a real friend. It's not. So when it comes to these situationships and these children, you all will get upset because the man no longer wants you and he wants somebody else. Well, he showed you that he didn't want you from the beginning because some of y'all, one, try to trap a man with a baby and think that's gonna keep him. And then two, um, when he decides that he wants to move on, that ain't working, you forget a man is looking for specific things in a wife or a woman that he's wanting to commit to. And the fact that majority of women cannot answer the question, "What do you bring to the table?" That's a red flag for a man. When you cannot answer that, and if you whatever answers you give do not coincide with what you say, he is not going to take you seriously, and that's on you. And most women say, "Well, I'm a good woman because I cook, because I clean." That doesn't make you a good woman. It doesn't make
No,
you a good woman.
the one that gets, listen, ladies, never ever lead with your accomplishments. Men can care less
That
about your
part.
accomplishments.
He can care less about your money too.
Right, especially your money, because we understand your money we don't have access to.
Hmm.
I mean, real talk. For the most part, we know and understand. We as men, we don't have access to your money. That's why you hear this saying that says, whatever's his is mine, and whatever's mine is mine.
But
I hate the
let's
saying.
dissect that real quick.
I hate that.
Let's
I hate
dissect
that
that.
saying. But let's call it for what it is. A lot of women live by that.
Yeah.
A lot of
Let's
women live
dissect
by
that. But
that.
why is that? Does that, because here's the thing. In a marriage, and even in committed relationships, because I've been in a committed relationship where I've had to be the one that is the breadwinner, right?
Hmm.
When that person is incapacitated, physically, I had to pick up the slack. So no, my money is our money. If you have that mentality, well, I didn't sign up for this, then you didn't sign up for marriage because marriage is for better or worse, in sickness and in health, and for richer or for poor. If you can't get in the trenches with that man, you can't help him build. Then if he has the leadership and vision, and you don't have a strategy and resources to implement that, then why does he need you? Why does he need you? Because that's part of what you're supposed to bring to the table.
I'm glad you said that. So what I want to talk about is because I had this healthy debate in Clubhouse this weekend, and I was talking to about three or four quote unquote independent women, and I told them, I teach all my young dudes I mentor to not date independent women. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness, you thought I cussed folks out in the chat room, right? So they was hot. They was hot. I said, well, ain't nobody asked me why though. I was like, and nobody's giving me time to explain. So one of them, she was like, okay, that's fair. You're right. Before we get ready to get a loose and lynch you about it, we should let you explain why. I was like, it's
Hmm.
simple. I said, if you independent, that means you do everything for yourself. You don't need a man for nothing.
Hmm.
You don't need him. You don't need him. And so she was like,
Hmm.
right. I said, okay. So as a business partner, if I can fund the business, run the business, I could do every aspect of this business with no problem.
Hmm.
Why would I need you as a business partner to take half the profit?
Right. Right.
Why would I
Hmm.
sign up for that? For
Right.
what reason would I fund everything, do all the work and everything, but put your name on paper just so you could
Mm-hmm.
reap half the benefits when I
Yep.
don't need you. Why would I do that? And so she was
Right.
like, that'd be dumb. I said, exactly. So if you're an independent person, why are you with somebody?
Right. Well, I'm
I
gonna read your
said,
comments in just a second.
so a lot of them was like, well, we independent because we have to. No, you're not independent because you have to. Because
Mm-hmm.
I said, let's call it for what it is. Men approach you all the time, don't they? They was like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, but they ain't the right ones. And this, I was like, now, I said, I'm gonna explain something to you. I said, there is a huge difference between female, women, and
Mm-hmm.
ladies.
Right.
I said, now I don't mean to offend anybody in here. So if you feel offended, it's not my intention to offend you. It's my intention
Mm-hmm.
to educate you. I said, every man, I don't care who he is, when they
Mm-hmm.
recognize a lady, they treat her with the utmost respect
Right. Right.
because she
I agree.
moves different. She moves different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she ain't finna entertain the BS. She ain't, you can see it. You just by looking at her, you know I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I ain't ready for it. I can't even go over there and say nothing.
Right.
You know it. You know it. It's because
Mm-hmm.
of how she carry herself, how she dressed,
Right.
how she speaks, how she
Right.
maneuvers with people. That is just what it is. I said a bunch of I said a bunch of women don't want to be ladies, nor know how to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me read some of these comments. Latasha says,
Mhm.
I missed a few minutes because of a phone call, but I hate when I hear women say what men should be able to do for them and they can't even do it for
Mm.
themselves. That goes back to
Mm.
what we said in the beginning when you
Earlier,
first meet a
yep.
man and you're expecting him to take you on a $400 and $500 date at a 6-star restaurant and you ain't never took your own self to a 6-star restaurant because you can't afford it. So why are you setting an expectation for somebody that you don't even meet yourself? Then she says they ask him what they bring to the table and they don't even have a table for him to bring anything to. And
They
vice
want him to build
versa.
a table. That's why they want him to
E-
build the table.
Exactly. Cookie says, hey, Cookie, how are you? Denise says, a good woman, a good wife is supportive, trustworthy, loyal, knows how to communicate, is a team player. Latasha says, I can't see me expecting a man to bring anything to a table that is set with a paper plate mentally. I'm just saying. I know
Mm.
that's right. And
Mm.
she says, I like what Cat Williams said years ago about women saying there's no good men out there. No, you just need to ask your OBGYN what it is about your coochie that attracts no good men.
Dang, that's ruthless right there. That's ruthless.
Listen, listen, let me tell y'all something. When I was younger, I'm someone who endured a lot of sexual abuse and verbal, physical, mental and emotional trauma, abandonment, just on and on. I have been through the ringer, okay, with men, with my parents, with a lot of different people. And it wasn't until I got to a place
You broke up for a second.
where I really did the work on myself and allow God to not just heal me, but to make me whole, to where I started to realize who I was and what I possessed. And no matter what had been done to me, no matter what somebody said about me, the negative seeds that were planted in me, you'll never be nothing but a whore. You'll never be good for nothing but to lay on your back. Ain't no man ever gonna want you. Ain't no man ever gonna want to keep you. Like these were said to me by my parents. You know what I'm saying? And that stuck with me. So when you teach a child that, that's what they believe, and then you add
Hmm.
sexual abuse and trauma and stuff on top of one another, on top of one another, just keep on and keep on. That's what you begin to believe. And so it wasn't until I got to a place um where I learned what it was to have a relationship with God. Once I got into a relationship with Him, then I began to understand what my role was as a woman, let alone a wife, just as a woman, who I was as a woman, as a person, what my purpose was, and then as a mother. And then I could start to, you know, give what it was that I wanted. But then I developed this form of overcompensating. So now I just give, and sacrifice, not because I want something in return, but because I don't want other people to feel what it was that I felt. That in
Mhm.
itself is unhealthy because you begin to lose yourself in relationships. So that's why it's important for women to do the work. We don't want to do the work and we don't want to be held accountable for our actions. So then I have to sit back and ask myself, okay, so why am I constantly doing this for this person, thinking that that's going to help them change? Or if I just love them enough, if I just pour into them enough, if I just give enough, you know what I'm saying, they'll change. No, that person also has to do the work for themselves.
Mhm.
So when it comes to who has it worse, men have it worse. One, because men are going to tell you what they want. Men are simple. They tell you what they want, whether it's through their action or their words. My uncle told me, don't you ever let a man tell you more than once that he don't want you. That's through his
Yep.
actions or his words.
Yep.
We will literally sit there and watch a man treat us like crap, but because he's saying, "Oh, baby, you know what? You so wonderful. I love you," and all kind of stuff. You'll listen. You soak that up and forget what he's saying. And this is why we are so warped into the sex part, that we will hold on to a man just for that, or just to feel like, oh, I got a one up on her. You know what I'm saying? Or he's mine because he comes home to me at night. Like these are the
Mhm.
things that this is the pot that women have. I mean, that men have to choose from. Now, I'm not saying there's no
Good
that
ones
there
out
ain't
here.
some men
Right.
out here, because listen, we get on them too in a
Yeah.
second. But when it comes to women, you got men being asked to meet all these ridiculous expectations. Women are wanting these spectacular lives, lifestyles, and stuff that they can't even provide for themselves. And that they're not willing to help him build, because as a helpmate, you're supposed to be able to multiply what he gives you. You're supposed to be able to manage. You're supposed to be a manager, be able to manage home, be able to manage his finances if needed, be able to manage his life, help him with his business. You're supposed to be a helpmeet. um you're supposed to be help me. You're supposed to be able to cover him and pray with him. You need to have strategy and resources and things of that sort while he's leading. You need to be able to learn how to follow. I think our guest just came in the room. Hold on.
All right. All right. All right.
Uh, DL DL's in the building. I think let's wait till he comes
Pop
in.
up.
Hold on. Latasha says that's deep. Jacob says peace and blessings. Jay says another thing is that men endure a lot in the world and then can be called weak if we decide to show emotion. And then some, not all women, will say or refer to him as weak when she is supposed to be his place of comfort. And it goes both ways. Absolutely. That's
Mhm.
something that me and Keith was talking about earlier.
Yep.
As a woman, I had to learn, though, how to be a safe space for a man, because in
I'm trying
my
to do it
entire
behind you.
life, my
Okay.
encounter with men on a emotional level has been horrible,
Mhm.
because I've been misused, abused,
Mhm.
mistreated, all of that. And so I had to learn that not all men are the same. So I never said, all men are dogs or all men are
You
this,
said
all
it.
of that, especially when I had sons, because now
Mm.
I have to learn that my sons are just as valuable. They matter just as much as my daughters. And so when I tell my daughters, you know, you don't give yourself physically, financially, none of that to just anybody. They got to earn that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They have to earn that. I tell my sons the same thing. You don't sit out
Mhm.
here and lay down with every woman. You don't do that.
Especially fellas.
You don't,
Especially the
exactly. You don't
fellas.
give up your resources. You don't
Yep.
provide for every single woman out here. She got to
Yep.
earn that.
Yep.
She got to earn that. And
Yep.
so keeping yourself, I teach my sons too, keeping yourself does not make you a punk. You are not a sheep. You don't need to be out here following what everybody else and their mama doing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Keeping yourself don't make you a square, make you lame. Let people call you what they want to call you. And so I think that when it comes to relationships, men just have it worse because women have all of these. They come to the table with demands, expectations, and things they won't do, but they don't ever come to the table with this is what I can provide and this is what I can help with. This is what I bring. You are the help me. He ain't. You are, and you're not coming with nothing to show him how you're going to help him become the man that God has created him to be, and to manifest everything that God has given this man into his hands and the things that he's placed inside of him. If you're not coming to the table with that and all you have are demands and things that you're not going to do and expectations that he has to meet, then baby, you deserve to be by yourself. I'm sorry. You just do.
I teach
Hey,
all my young
DL.
guys. What up, DL? He just stepped out for a second, I think. But I teach all my young guys this
I'm trying to find a location. I'm trying
to
to find a
post up.
location where I get good signal and post up.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel you. I have to do the same. But I teach all my young dudes, man. I teach them to first of all, you know, figure out what your purpose is as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what your purpose is. You know, if you don't feel like you know what your purpose is, you should pray on that. You should pray to you know whoever you pray to, whether it be Allah, Buddha, God, the universe, whatever that is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
pray that you know you figure out what your purpose is. Pray to be delivered to your purpose.
Right.
Um, because if you are on your purpose, whatever is for you is going to find you because
Right.
it is a part of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever ain't for your purpose, you're gonna recognize it out the gate. You're gonna recognize it. This don't serve
Yep.
my purpose. It gotta go. This right here don't serve my purpose. It gotta go. That over there
Yep.
don't serve my purpose. It gotta go. Like you're gonna find yourself weeding that stuff out. Now, I also teach my guys this too. Nobody is the prize. I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
that again. I know a whole lot of ladies don't like it, but it is what it is. Ain't nobody the prize. The prize is the relationship that you build. That's the prize.
That part.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. I mean,
Yep.
like Kevin Samuels. It's a shame that um, people are starting to figure out everything he said was right. It's a shame that they're figuring it out now because
I
I
think it was the
remember
delivery.
it is, and it's always delivery. The
Mm-hmm.
message always gets lost in the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
But the message is the message regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a wino telling you not to drink, but he gonna turn around and continue to drink. He the best
Mm-hmm.
person to tell you because he understands the backside of that.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad you said that.
You know.
Exactly.
So I
Latasha,
tell
go
go ahead.
ahead.
So what I tell my young guys is I tell them I was like, you know, nobody's the prize. The relationship is the prize. It's just like it's just like they said the Temptations. Ain't nobody bigger than a group. Ain't nobody bigger than a relationship.
Right.
You both have a
Exactly.
responsibility to each other.
Exactly.
And that she be like, ain't nobody come see you, Otis. Cool. Let her ass go on herself, or let him go by himself, and let them be
Hmm.
a solo act.
Exactly. Latasha says, I knew as a teenager what kind of wife I did not want to be. I didn't have examples of healthy marriages. I prayed for God to help me be the wife he wanted me to be. Of course, I have missed the work. I mean, of course, I have missed the mark, but baby, I am proud of the wife, friend, prayer warrior, and business partner I am. I know that's right. Tia says, absolutely. Latasha says, true. Men definitely have it harder. Women have always been told what a man should do for them. Yet, if a man expects us to do anything, we call him a user or a weak man.
A
She says, say
manipulator.
that our bond is the prize, making it work is the prize. And then she says, teach Keith. So DL just came in the room, and we're gonna see what his input is on who has it worse. I know we're still in the we're in the situationship phase, and DL. I want you to chime in on this when it comes to situationships or relationships and women and men, the expectations, the roles that they say they're going to do or things they're not going to do. And then when it comes to the kids, single mothers, they use kids as pawns, a lot of them, when the man no longer wants them, and forget that this ain't about you, it's about the child. If the father is a single father, the mother somehow or another usually never has to pay child support when the man usually does, you know what I'm saying? And some women feel like the man is supposed to take care of her, when she has his child, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And so men have those things to deal with because you have women who are emotionally unstable, and they don't have any self-discipline. And then in relationships too, men don't have self-discipline either because a lot of them are easily drawn in by temptation. And so,
Mhm.
again, do you really value what you have? If you have something of value. So, what are your thoughts?
Um, what I really believe is that one gender blames the other gender too much. It's not enough accountability of self action. I think that guys that call women gold digger and say they only out for the money, well, the only reason why she was attracted to that is because that's the cheese you put in the trap. And now that you don't
Mhm.
Mhm.
Velveeta prices, you want to
Yep,
complain, he still has
that
an
part.
appetite for cheese. Um, when women, one of the things that I hate to hear women say is, if you were a real man, how do you know
Mhm.
what a real man is? You don't get a prostate exam. You don't stand up. I hope you don't stand up when you pee. If so, your toilet seat's probably wet. But it's but I just feel as though if people took time to have these discussions pre starting a relationship, so that they can
Hmm.
see what it is that the person sitting across from them desires, needs, and expects, and vice
Hmm.
versa, then you can start off. Now, people, their desires change with their maturity, but that's why in
Hmm.
relationships, you sit down and revisit your relationship or your business ship or whatever it is. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Somebody said get off them Reverend DL. But yeah, I don't get into more men need to do this, more women need to do that, unless you plan on dating every man, every woman in this world.
Mhm.
Uh, Focus
Hmm.
on the man that you have a desire for and make yourself ready to be found by that man. And brothers, get your house together so that when you bring her to your house, there's room for her and you ain't got to worry about getting put out in the middle of the winter because you up in her crib. So I
Yep.
hope that answered the question.
You
Yeah,
know, it's
and now
funny.
to go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
It's funny as you say that because there was something I just thought about as you was talking. Another thing too, because I don't subscribe to. This is why a lot of people don't see me on podcasts talking about relationships anymore. Because what I realize is a lot of people just want it their way. It ain't Burger King though. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's not cookie cut. It's not custom made. You have to build this with somebody else, so everything just can't be your way. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So I always like with my younger dudes when they talk about this, I say, well, look, what you need to figure out first is what kind of man you want to be. For one, after you figure out what kind of man you want to be, if instead of figuring out what kind of woman you want, you say what you got to do is you have to figure out what you want to be to your woman.
Right.
What do you want
Hmm.
to be to her? Don't
And you'll
forget
attract the
about
right
what kind of
woman.
woman. Right. That's what I'm saying. Forget about what kind of woman you want because she'll come along if you do. If you serving your purpose and you are trying your best to be the best version of you on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And you focused on that. You ain't gonna have to worry about what kind of woman you want. She gonna appear
Yeah.
because
And
she's
you know
part of
what,
your
Keith?
process. Yep.
You know what, Keith? The type of woman a man wants determines the type of woman that he needs.
Yep.
That's it.
If
That's
he's
And we
it.
serving your
don't,
purpose,
That's
if he's
it.
serving your purpose, she can't help but serve your purpose. She a part
there
of
you
it.
go. There
And
you
you know
go.
what? A lot of times we are so focused on aesthetics and materials that we miss the person because it doesn't come in the package
That you looking
that
for.
we are used to, or the package that we
Hmm.
want. Sometimes what you want is not going to what sometimes what you need is not going to look like what you want. However, the good thing is sometimes those things can be worked on just like everything else, because let's be honest, everybody comes into a relationship with something. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not checked luggage. You should never go into a relationship with checked luggage. You should only have a carry-on and maybe a personal. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because
That
those are things that make you imperfect. If you can love somebody in all of their flaws, or be with somebody with all of their flaws, or the things that make them imperfect, but it's two a relationship and a marriage is really two imperfect people coming together to create something that is perfect for them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so,
part definitely.
both parties though have to be able to have self discipline and self control, right? Because once you get into this relationship and you all decide, okay, man, I really love this person, or I am in love with this, I'm in love with this person, and I can see myself, living the rest of my life with this person, or God has confirmed to you that this is my husband or this is my wife or whatever the case may be, then you then have to, because let's be honest, people, society are always going to try it. Women are in competition with each other out here every day to see who men they can seduce, and I can get him, whatever the case may be. I don't know what men really do because I'm not a guy, but I see it all the time. I'm a woman, and I see it all the time. The shade, the competition, the hating stuff is real. However, and then some women only want a man because he's with her. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because he's with her.
Hmm.
I just had
And
that conversation
same
last
thing,
night.
same thing. Men, you'd be surprised. I when I'm in a relationship or when I was married, twice as many men approach me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Twice as many. It's kind of like they like the challenge or the chase or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
But when that man or that woman knows, and I mean really truly knows who they have, they're not worried because they understand that this person loves me, they're loyal to me, they faithful to me, and they know what they have. Because let me tell you, this dating pool out here today, it got pee and boo boo in it and dead bugs. Like nobody who wants to be swimming in this? Because no, what? No. And like he said, men put money on the track. But let's go even further and say, why men are complaining about women being gold diggers, they do approach women with what they have, what they can do. I can tell you how many men will say, I can take care of you, I can buy you this, I can buy you that,
Hmm.
and all that stuff. But on the flip side, women want to be treated like queens and want to be wives, but you out here and got all of your goodies out on social media, and you
Man,
twerking on social media, and you getting these BBLs and all the kind of stuff. Women right now are mad about this viral clip going around when a man says, no, y'all think we want the BBLs. We
right.
only want that to play with. We ain't
Yeah.
taking that to no PTO conference. We not taking that home
Nope.
to mama. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And that's what
Rick
women.
James,
That,
Rick James said it best. He said, "She's a very freaky girl, the kind you don't take home to
don't
mom."
take home the mother. That's
Right.
that's exactly right. No man is going to want a woman that every single other man has access to. That's with his eyes and with his hands. Don't no man
Absolutely.
want that. Don't no woman want community
Absolutely.
D either. Don't no woman want a
Right.
man that's in every woman's DMs that's
Community
talking
D,
to women behind
Community
his
D, is
back.
that devotion? Community D, community devotion.
Yeah, they devoted to something, bro. They devoted
Right.
to something.
Listen, don't no woman want a man that's calling every other woman baby and sweetheart and honey and telling her how fine she is in text message and all the it starts with with the exchange. And so we got to be mindful, if that's not what you're trying to catch, then you don't fish with that. When I
Man,
was
some
Could
some
in
be.
church,
some women. I think some women just like their attention. They think, oh, it's innocent. No, it ain't innocent. Trust
no,
me.
it ain't.
Like, cause I'm
Same.
telling you, dudes on the side, like I said, uh, men and women is. So Do, you missed this earlier. So this is
Uh-huh.
my analogy to dating. Dating is like a football game
Uh-huh.
or a sporting event. Whenever you on the sidelines, you still watching the game. Because I'm not participating right now, that don't mean I know I'm not gonna get back on the field. I gotta find
Right.
out what's going on. I gotta see who
Hmm.
doing what and why, so I know how to line myself up. You
Right.
know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Hey, the free safety over there sucks, so we can go deep all the time. Let's go ahead and do that. Hey, the middle
Yep.
linebacker, he a monster. He gonna run up and down the field. We can't run at him. We gonna have to do talk sweet. We gonna have to do something else. You gotta figure
Yep.
out a game plan.
Yep.
And it's a shame that you gotta do it, but you gotta do
Hmm.
it, or you will be
Yep.
out here looking foolish.
Yep. Tasha says, I asked women in my wives group, do you remember the vows you said when you got married? She said, all of them said no. She said, so how do you keep vows you don't even know? And she said, that
Wow.
helped all of us that night. I said, wow.
Boy,
Wow.
She said,
talk
right.
to him.
Nobody, she said, right.
Talk
Nobody
to
wants
him.
that playground pogo stick.
But you know what?
He
No, real
said,
talk.
and
I
nobody wants
honestly
that
believe.
food that
I,
ain't clean.
I honestly believe a lot of women they don't want to be wives. They just want to be married.
Yeah, they don't. Well, they don't know. Women fall in
And a
love
lot of them
with
don't
the
know how.
wedding and the
It's the
ring.
show.
They
It's the
don't
show. Yeah,
consider
it's the
what
show.
marriage really is.
Right. It's the show. That's what I call it. It's the
Right,
show.
right. They don't consider what marriage really is. And
Mm-hmm.
so let me tell you, a pastor put it like this to me: you have prime rib and you have bologna. Which one
Mm-hmm.
are you? Bologna is packaged very tight.
You know what?
It's
Listen,
see
listen.
through. You can
I
see
just
every
failed
slice
because
in
I
that
like
mug.
bologna better than
You know,
prime
but
rib.
but here's the thing: you can
I
find
just failed,
bologna
Lady J.
everywhere. You can find it at every corner store. You can find it at the gas station. You can find it at the grocery store, and there are 50 million types of bologna, right?
Yep.
So every slice represents every body part and every person that you done laid down with. Prime rib though, that's expensive. Not only
Everybody
is
don't
it
get it.
fine cut, but they
Mm-hmm.
wrap it in plastic, then they wrap it in paper, they wrap it loosely, all that. You can't go everywhere and get that. So what do you consider yourself? Prime rib or
Hey,
bologna? And
if a woman told
you
me,
know,
if a woman told me she was prime rib, prime rib is readily available everywhere here in Kansas City. We are the city of steak, so prime
you're doing
rib
too
is
much,
the
DL.
lower.
You're
It's
doing
the
too much.
lower. It's the lower. It
You're
is the
doing too
lower
much.
echelon of steaks.
But you can't get it at no gas station or from Pookie off the street. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Well, I
True, they
don't
want
know.
the title without the role.
Pookie ride that meat truck. Hey, I got a question though, Lady J. I got a question, Keith.
Yep.
So, I wonder how many women in chat, y'all can holler at me on this. I wonder how many women have forfeited their soulmate relationship by putting them in the friend zone. A lot of women
How
say
many?
Woo!
all the
Hold on, say that
time.
again.
A lot of women say all the time, well, we gotta be friends first. But the guy that you're the most compatible with, oh, I can tell him anything. Oh, he goes with me. Oh, that's my, but you friend zoning. Could you be putting your soulmate in the wrong category?
Hey, you
Again,
know
those
what? It's
are yes,
funny.
yes.
It's fun. Listen, it's funny you said that, GL. I posted today. You can go to my Facebook and see the post. I have posted this today. I said something to the effect of, I said a lot of ladies. I said, ladies, a lot of you all have pretty much friend zoned somebody, that you should
Mhm.
be with. Passed up on Mr. I said you passed up on Mr. Right, and you consistently continue to just to just to get treated bad by Mr. Right now.
Yes,
You
Yep.
go to
I
sir.
my
think I
page.
think that women. Yep, I think they do, and men do it too. But here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
you have to one, like Keith said. First of all, you have to know who you are, and then you have to know what not what you want, not just what you want, but you have to also know what you need. And
Mm-hmm.
so if that friend does not, because I'm gonna tell you how there are quite a few male friends, quote unquote friends that I have that have been interested in me, right? Um, some have been chasing me for years. However, you're inconsistent, sir. So no, no, absolutely not. You are, excuse my French, but an attention whore. You need the attention of other women. So no, because my attention is not going to be good enough, and I am a very attentive woman. And now that I
Mm-hmm.
do know, there is not one
Now,
man that I've ever
but
been
Lady
with.
J, you got
You
to
know,
ask yourself. You got to ask yourself. The attention he's getting as your friend is not. And so
you breaking up.
maybe she ready to share it.
So here's the
No.
thing, but you watched him in relationships with other women. So if you're still seeking attention from other women while you're in a relationship, then no, sir,
Because it wasn't
because
you.
you don't
Because it
have
wasn't
self
you.
discipline.
It wasn't
That,
you.
that that ain't gonna do with
No.
me. It doesn't
Yeah.
It
matter. A
do.
man's character is who he is.
If you if
Consistent
I'm of the
behavior shows you a
mindset it
person's
don't.
character.
if a
Yeah. I'm of
dude
the
know in his
mindset.
heart, I'm sorry, Keith.
Yeah. No. I'm of the mindset of a man is gonna practice who he is.
Exactly.
That's just my mindset. I truly, and that's anybody, not just a man, but a woman too.
Can
Hmm.
I am
y'all
of the mind. Yeah, I'm of the
I,
mindset that men and women will practice consistently who they are. You ain't just
Hmm.
going to put it this way. The backup quarterback ain't gonna be the damn superstar all of a sudden.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And who I am is not going to dictate who I am is not predicated upon who I'm with. I am who I am
So
no matter who I'm
so you
around or
don't
what I'm
so you
doing.
don't
And that's just it.
you don't think that there are certain circumstances and instances, because I do agree with that.
Mhm.
But do you not believe that a guy can see a woman's beauty, but then he turns around and learns her character and say, that's for the street, so why I'm gonna be
Oh,
serious with this?
absolutely. That happened all
So
the
I'm
time.
gonna
Yeah,
have a good
yeah.
time. But he can also have a female that he knows is what he likes in looks. He knows is what he likes in character, and he like if she just give me a chance, I'll cut all this loose. You don't think that there
Listen,
is a
I'm.
difference that a man can act with two different women because the two
Oh,
different women's
absolutely,
characters are different?
So
absolutely, I do.
yeah, but here's the thing. No woman that is securing herself and that knows who she is and knows what she wants. And especially, let's just be honest, a lot of us have put up with foolishness before we even got to somebody that was good. Let's just be honest. We've already
Hmm.
experienced the bad, right? And so we're looking for certain behaviors because a behavior pattern shows me your character. So regardless of who you're with, if that is predicated of if you're going to change your behavior or something that you want me to see, if you're with me, I don't
Yeah.
want nobody like that because I need somebody that tells me that you're not consistent. And so, I think that if a woman sees a man behaving a certain type of way, for instance, I know a guy. I'm not gonna say no name, but I know a guy who has been married, desires to be married, you know, has been in relationships, great guy, overall guy, but he has something within himself where he needs attention. You got to have attention by a lot of women. You got to have you're in a relationship and telling people that you love this woman, and yet you're still in inboxes with other women talking about how beautiful they are. When you gonna meet? When I'm gonna see you again and meet up? You don't love her. You don't love her. There is
You can't
something
do
in
that.
you that
That's what I'm
that
getting at. That's the
that
point
makes
I'm
you
saying.
feel like you need the attention of other women, and then
That's the point.
He
you
needs to
end up
work that out
hurting
before
that
he.
woman or
Yeah.
bleeding on that woman that did not cut you. You need to
So
go somewhere and get yourself together first.
you said something that Lady J, when we had these conversations, I poke at you because I know what it's going I know what it's going to produce. So you said that if you see certain things in a guy that you've
Mhm.
seen before, then it triggers. So if there is a trigger, would that insinuate there's no healing?
It could.
Yeah, because here's the
Okay.
thing: there's a difference
But a
between being
healed,
healed and being whole. You
but
can
what I'm
be
saying,
healed and not be whole.
Yeah.
but a healed woman could say, you know what? I can identify why that is because I've been there or I've created that in a man. So
Yeah.
you got to
Hmm.
look at this. He that findeth a wife who finds what? A good thing, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
So that means there's a hunt going on, right? So
Mhm.
Hmm.
in order, any good hunter knows he has to be led, whether the led is by scent, by divine instruction. When we talk about humanity, you got to
Hmm.
listen, you got to be still, you got to move when it's time to move, you got to stop when it's time to stop, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
So
Excuse me. Hmm.
you might run up on something that you thought was some prime dough, but it turned out to be a hyena because of the
Yeah.
time of day.
Yeah. Now,
So
see,
just
hold
because
on,
you
D.
saw him react on that, don't mean that's how he would react on you. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
But right. But D, I got you on this one, dog.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you why. I agree with you to an extent, but
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you where that brother's messing up at. Then that would. I'm gonna take myself and use a scenario. That would
Uh-huh.
be like me being that dude that you talking about, right?
Hmm.
And I got let's say I got Monique on my left, who I want to be with, and if she gave me that opportunity, I'm gonna act all the way right.
Uh-huh.
But let's say I got Denise, Rochelle, and Kendra over on my right hand side. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? That I can play with.
Hmm.
Now, where he messing up is he is allowing Monique. Where I'll be messing up is I allow Monique to see how I do with Kendra, Rochelle, and the other chick. I allow her to see it. So that's why she
Mhm.
don't take me serious.
Mhm.
This is why I said
Mhm.
to some young ladies in Clubhouse last weekend. I was like, look, you can't be the ringleader and entertain clowns because the
Mhm.
dudes on the sideline is watching the game. They looking at you. They like, oh, you the ringleader. You like the circus. Oh, I'm cool. I
Yeah.
don't mess with the circus. You the greatest show on earth. That's all you are. There's
Mhm.
no substance to you. You're not serious about this. You're not. So since I see how you gonna do them, what makes me think you wouldn't do me that way? And that's where
Right.
he messes
So
up at.
Now
and so
you talking about from the woman's, you talking about like if a woman is the ringleader, or you talking about if the dude is the
Either
ringleader to the
or.
woman?
It could be either or. The thing is, like
Because
what I teach people
the
is,
only reason why I
uh,
posed that question is because the man is to hunt, the woman
right,
isn't.
right. So listen, this is the key though. Women are out here. They want to. Let's call it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
More women than men want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First of all, we got to look at two different dynamics that nobody really talk about.
Okay.
And I tell my younger dudes this all the time. These are the dynamics that and even some young ladies now that I talk to enough to give them some game. So this is it. Women, their whole entire lives, for the most part, has been fantasized about being married.
mhm.
You thought about the dress you want to wear. You thought about where you want to have the wedding, what colors, this and that and the third and all that. So the wedding is actually the goal, not the marriage. The
Mhm.
wedding is the goal,
Yep.
but they know marriage comes along with the wedding. So that's why women run around here talking about I want to be married versus saying, I want to be in a wedding. I want to be a bride versus they should be saying I want to be a bride versus I want to be a wife. Because if you want to be a wife, you know what you want. You wouldn't still be out here attracting clowns. All right. Now for the
Right.
fellas part of it. So how we got into that conversation in the clubhouse is I made the comment that men love more honestly than women do. We
Mhm.
and I'm telling you, I got a whole lot of heat for that one. But I said, yo, I got receipts for it though. Let me get into it. So they're like, okay. I said, when a woman is in love with a man, it's all she can't wait to tell him. Everybody gonna know it.
You right.
When a dude figures out
Yep.
that he's in love with a girl, he be like, damn, she got me. It don't be no happy, happy, joyous moment. It just don't.
Really?
Con- It contrary to people's belief, it don't. And Lady J, you know I'm telling you right, right? You know how many think about your boys when they figured out they know they was in love with that girl, they was like, damn, she got me. And she got me, yo. She got me. It don't be happy, happy, joy, joy, rainbows. We can't wait to tell you. It don't. It really don't. And the reason why is because we as men, we understand now that there's a woman in this world that can get everything out of us with no effort because that's what we want to do for her.
Effort,
Everything
no
we've been
effort,
taught.
huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you
That
why I say.
I.
Wait. I'm gonna tell you why I say no effort. Let me explain. Because we as men, if you've been taught correctly, let me put
Mhm.
that caveat out there. If you've been
Mhm.
taught correctly, you've been taught how to treat a woman your whole entire life. Oh no, you treat her
Mhm.
like a flower. You buy her
Mhm.
things. You take her out. You treat her like this. You treat her like. We've been taught how to treat you all our whole entire life.
Mhm.
Tell me where women being taught to treat men.
So I'm gonna say that goes that depends on how you grew up. So me, I'm gonna say I watched my grandmother. Now my mother and father's
Hey,
relationship
hey, Lady
was
J, hold
tumultuous,
on. Hold on one
but
second, Lady J. Hold on one second. You
mhm,
right. The only reason I want to stop you is because I need to put this out here before everybody gets to listen to what you said.
mhm,
Now, I say this, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, because men, even if we're not taught by our own household, we see
mhm,
it on TV, in
mhm,
TV shows, or movies or whatever on how we should be treating you all. You all as
Mhm.
women have social media platforms that tell us this all the time. We as men
Yep.
have platforms that will say against it, and you will come on those platforms to tell us we wrong. I mean, so we hear it
Mhm.
all the time how you need to be treated. I say
Right.
this
And
all
we
the
tired of
time,
hearing it.
and I
We
look, I
tired of
say this
hearing
all
it.
the time. Yeah, we are, we
And
are.
so
And
so
what I say all the time is this: I think it sucks that I feel like, because I'm gonna talk for black men and black women, because I don't desire to marry any other woman. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
I don't really desire to date any other women outside of black women. But
Mhm.
it's like this. I I think it's a shame because I do truly believe we as black men don't have a voice with black women.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you. But I'm gonna say I watched my grandmother, and there are certain things that certain lessons that she taught me. Like she
Mhm.
literally sat down and taught me. I watched my grandmother serve my grandfather every single day. It's in my kids used to ask me, Mama, why you always give him his plate before you give us ours? Because
Mhm.
he is first.
He provided this.
He exactly. He is first. He is always going to come first. Even if you know how well, I don't know. I can't even say that a lot of women know this. But I don't even think a lot of us know will realize that when the Bible says that he who finds a wife, not he who finds a girlfriend that then
Right.
learns and becomes a wife, it's he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Before he even meets me, I am already operating in the spirit or the gestures and stuff of a wife because it's already in me. He's already
Mhm.
positioned me to be that. So it's nothing for me to when I cook. Cooking is one of my favorite things to do. It's my safe space, not just for him, but for my family. Even when I'm single, it's my favorite thing to do. I serve my children.
Mhm.
When I was single or when it was just me and my kids, I served my children, all of my children, so much so to the point my 19 and 20-year-old mama, where my plate at? You ain't make my plate. You know what I'm saying? Because they're used to that.
Used to it.
And
Yep.
so I watch my grandmother serve him when he comes into the door, takes his shoes, make sure he sits down and eats first, or he gets his plate first. Now, if the man says, baby, go ahead and serve the kids first, then fine, because
Right.
then I'm following his lead. Little things like that. Giving him time to unwind. Baby, how was your day? When she packs up his lunch. Every single day, getting up and praying, not just on her own, but together. I literally watched her. I never ever saw them argue. They argued one time in my entire life, and it was over a piece of mail. You know what I'm saying? And it was so funny. So funny. But it wasn't even
He got
I
he got
swear it
that
was over a
side
piece of mail.
he got that side baby's birth certificate in the mail, huh?
But she never raised her voice at him. She never disrespected him. She never raised her hand to him to slap him, any of that. And so I got to see both sides. And I
Mhm.
remember asking God because I didn't have that mother, father, or family figure, didn't have that protection and stuff. My number one wish was to have my own husband, my kids, and family. Everybody else all out here want money and fame and stuff. That was all I ever wanted. That was it.
Mhm.
And so anything else that comes along with that, that's a bonus to me.
Now,
So
I
I think
believe the
that
reason why we have so many, I believe the reason why we as black people have so many different challenges when it comes to relationships is because we don't
mhm,
have a template of what a relationship look like due to the fact that we have too many single parent households.
mhm,
So, when you don't have when you don't see your mother or your father interact with the opposite sex in such a way to where it is loving and endearing, how do you
mhm.
know how to be loving and endearing?
So here's the thing. Study. Everything that you need to know is in the word of God.
Sounds good, but
Every
we know people don't do that.
they don't, but here's the thing. That's okay. They used to tell if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the
Put it
book.
in a
But if you want
book,
to hide something from a black person, put it in the book
put it in the
too. So here's
Bible.
the thing. It's not that we don't have a blueprint because we do.
We
It's
absolutely do.
the simple fact that we don't we have instruction, and we choose to overlook those who are actually living the blueprint because in our minds we have this thing where we say we understand and know that it's not always peaches and cream. However,
Mhm.
the minute that you see a couple going through something or hardship or something, that's all shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They don't need to be together or they going no, that's what life is. So here's the thing. Um DL posed the question talking about if women see, a guy doing certain things, he put them in the friend zone or whatever. What if he only showing that? Because okay, so it's the same thing. You're a hunter. If you see a woman exhibiting a certain type of behavior, you ain't gonna see her as no wife. You ain't gonna want to wife
See,
that.
see, hold on, stop. You can't speak for all men because that's why there are a whole lot of married strippers. There are married porn actresses. There are a whole lot of reformed crackheads that used to walk the street to get crack that are now good wives. It's just it's determined to what a person is willing to endure in that pursuit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, DL, I ain't willing to no heifers and no whores, no none of that.
And
If we're
how
looking
rare
for
is that
somebody that's
though?
as good
How
as
rare
me,
is that? And
I'm
you
sorry,
don't know what's
I'm
really
just,
going
I'm
on
gonna let
behind
you
closed
know.
doors.
You can't come Keith Omar Jackson way, because hey, Keith is a nice dude. Omar boy, an asshole. I'm gonna tell you right now. I have no problem being an asshole when I need to be. Absolutely, I
Hmm.
love it. It's
I
it's
will
my
say
favorite
this.
pastime.
I will say this, and I said moving forward until the breath gets out of my body, and anytime I get the opportunity, I just want to compel to black men, black women, we are not opponents. We're
Man,
teammates.
Hmm.
tell it, talk to him,
We're
Hmm.
talk to
Yeah,
teammates. And
yeah.
so,
him. Hmm.
whatever it is that you found attractive in that person that is across from you or next to you, you have to go back, as I believe it was Tasha that said in her women's group, she asked them to revisit
Wow.
the
The
vows, and
Vows.
they couldn't even say it. So you have to go back and revisit what you fell in love with, because sooner or
Hmm.
later, what you fell in love with is going to put on some pounds. What you fell in
mm-hmm.
Right.
love with is going to lose some hair, so going to
Mm-hmm.
lose some teeth. They might get sick and lose mobility. So you have to go back and say it's got to be more conditioned than just what I can look at, what's in your bank account. When
Mm-hmm.
we come
Hmm.
together, how do we make this home? How do we
Hmm.
rear these children that we're going to have? How am I going to bury you? How are you going to bury me? So we don't want to have those
Hmm.
conversations because
Damn.
we
Yep.
too busy talking about that we got it harder than the other gender. It don't
Man.
matter
Hmm.
who get harder, who get hit harder by master's whip. We all getting hit.
Mm. True.
So, Keith said something key. This is Latasha.
Uh,
When are we teaching how to be a wife or a husband, and who is teaching love in hip hop? I remember
amen.
explaining to an
Amen.
older woman why I didn't do certain things unless my husband agreed because he is the head of the household. This wolf, Pussy, told me he had to make a certain amount of money to get that title. I shared that because it said when the older women pass off their broken advice on the younger women. Yep, it said this is good right here. So
Yep.
here's the thing with that, and she's right. This is why I say as women we have a responsibility as the nurturers while the men are leaders, we are the ones that are usually emotionally in tune with our, our inner self, our emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us don't know how to navigate that. So
Yep.
that's why you have women who will completely lose their mind, slashing tires, burning clothes, and doing all this stupid stuff because you're upset because he cheated or because he lied or because of, but here's the thing, in that relationship, he had already shown you who he was through his
Mm-hmm.
actions, and you chose to
You chose to
stay. You
ride with him.
chose to keep taking him back. So you have a responsibility in that to say, there is something in me that makes me think and feel and uh, and take on the identity that I don't deserve better. And that this is all, and that I can change this person, and not realizing that you yourself are not in a healthy mental, emotional, and spiritual and social state enough to where you can deal with rejection. It's the same thing with
Mm-hmm.
men. Men
Mm-hmm.
have, for some reason, nowadays, these men out here, they cannot handle rejection. I done be called all kind of bitches
I'm gonna
and
tell you
stuck up
why.
holes and all other kind
I
of
could
stuff
tell you
because
why.
I don't want to talk to you.
I could tell you why. I could totally tell you why. So the reason why these men are so emotionally unstable is because they was raised by emotionally unstable women.
I can get with that. I can get with
And
that.
I know women ain't gonna like me for it. It ain't popular to say, but damn it,
But
it
it's
is what
true.
it is.
It's
Right?
true.
Who raised a little? How many? How many? How many households have a mother and father in it? How many relationships? But better yet, how many women have an accountable man that's helping her raise a child versus not.
Mhm.
In our community, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know in
Right.
our community what it looked like. So,
Mhm.
because if that were the case, they wouldn't be running around here unstable. You wouldn't have to worry
Right.
about how you gonna try to check your son now that he's 17.
Right.
You wouldn't have to worry
Mhm.
about it because
And
it'd
you
be a
know, a
dude
lot
like
of
me
that.
coming around. It'd be a dude like me coming around, knocking him upside his head, and then he'll
And
Mhm.
I
look,
was
and I'll
just
be like,
about to
yeah.
say that. I was about to say that, Keith, that when you do find a brother that don't want you, but see a liking in your kid,
Mhm.
like coaches,
Yeah.
mentors, big
Yep.
brothers.
Yeah.
And then when they say something, well, hey, hold on. That's a little
Mm-mm.
too
That's my
much. That's a little
child.
too much. Let me
Mhm.
handle that. Let me take care of that. If
Mhm.
somebody go, but then when he gets about 6 foot
Yeah.
and he towering over you, or he,
Now you
ready
want
ready
somebody to
to
come
do
and
what he
rescue.
want to do, now you want
Yep.
help.
Yeah. Mm-mm. You gotta let them help you from the beginning.
Yep. Yep. So so let's let's wrap up with some tips, you know what I'm saying, and some life lessons that
I
we
got
can share. I know we've been sharing a few of them already
you.
throughout
Mhm.
the show, but when it comes to, DL said something about it, all of us are getting whipped. So, but here's the thing, if you're going to be in a relationship, especially a marriage with somebody,
Mhm.
you have to know how to also not just be attentive and pay attention and study your partner. You have to learn how to love them through their love language, not just your own,
Yep.
but through their love language. But most importantly, you also have to learn how to sacrifice the same way that you sacrifice. But I'm talking to women, the same way, and men too, I guess, because
Mhm.
it's on both sides. But you have to learn how to sacrifice, because there are going to be times where you have to sacrifice maybe some sleep, times that you may have to sacrifice maybe some finances, or sacrifice some time.
Time.
If you know that your husband, because here's the thing, when you are in tune with the person that you are with, when he walks in that door and he may not say a word, but you can tell that his spirit is low. Something has happened. He may not want to open up. You may have had a bad day yourself. But as the nurturer, okay, as the nurturer, um, you need to, okay, before you even approach him with what your day was, give him a hug. Hey baby, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? Or
Man, listen, sir.
let him decompress. Find something. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to your partner. The same way you want him to pay attention to you and just do things just because. It's the same thing when you recognize, not just when he's happy, but recognize when something is wrong. You know, and in addition to that, I think also it's important for us women to remember that men are not mind readers. Okay, we have to tell them what it is that we want, what it is that we're thinking. You know, um,
Half
and
of
so you
y'all
can't
don't
just
even know what y'all
assume
want. Half of
Mm.
y'all don't know what y'all want to eat when we
that
ask
part.
y'all what y'all want to eat. So how you gonna
Mhm.
Listen, I don't even,
what you want
I
to
don't
eat?
even, that's foreign to me, because it really be blowing my mind. I'll be like, really, y'all sit up here and really be going back and forth talking about, I don't know. And then when he say something, you like, nah, not that. Well, like, I've even left you at the house, the girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If I was your friend and you do that to me, girl, you find your own self something to eat. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you have to get to a place as a woman where everything is not about you. You should want your man to be happy too. It's not happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. Because if he's happy, you're happy. And here's another thing too, as women. If you want to be in a marriage, not just married, not a civil union, not just get the ring, if you want to be married, you have to learn how to follow his leadership. It's difficult. So for somebody like me who's been leading their whole entire life in every other area, but I am a person who, if the right man comes along, I don't mind following. Because here's the thing: you follow the leadership of your boss, you're not
Mm.
gonna give him no lip. You
Mm.
follow the leadership of your pastor. When he tell you do A, B, and C, D, you ain't questioning everything or going back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Faithful to your own husband.
When you are you know what I'm saying, when you joining these sororities and stuff like that, you following your chapter lead. Why is it that you don't have no problem with submitting to a system, an
Woo.
operation, and a person in out in public who does not have your best interest at heart
At
when it
heart.
comes to the condition of your heart, when it comes to you being covered in
Talk to
prayer,
'em.
when it comes to your bills being paid and on time, when it comes to your children being reared and taken care of. But that's the person that you won't follow. That's the person that you won't listen to. That's the person that you will fight. But you will go out here and do it for every other man except the one that you asked God for. Make it make sense.
It don't
That's
make
my
sense.
2 cents.
All right, so this is what I think people should do. I think everybody should always look at themselves first before they start to figure out what it is that they, oh, I want somebody who can do this and do that and do. No, look, figure out what is it that you're willing to do for somebody. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what I tell my young dudes. I'd be like, what kind of man you want to be. I was like, I figured out what kind of dude I wanted to be when I was 23 years old. I figured out the kind of man I want to be. I want to be a lot like my father, but I also want to have my own identity with that. I'm gonna stand on my word. If I say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't do it, it's
Mm-hmm.
not because of lack of effort. It's just it couldn't get done. But I showed the hell tried. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm high on character. I've been in Indianapolis for a long time. It's hard, and I know a lot of folks here. It's hard pressed for you to find somebody be like, I don't rock with Keith. He a snake. He this. He that. And the third. No, no, no. And I tell people this: if you find somebody that said I can find 100 to tell you otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
it's my character. And Lady J, you said something earlier. You used the word sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use the word sacrifice no more. I changed it to investment. And the reason why I say that is, sacrifice is
But those are two different things, though.
well, not really, not in the sense of a relationship. I'll explain. The reason why is sacrifice is doing something that you don't want to do. Period. To me, investing is I got to do this so I can get what I want later. Because when you're in a relationship, you both have a goal to get somewhere. Listen. My car ain't working today, so I got to drive your car. You working from home anyway today. All right. And another thing too, I think men and women both need to understand and learn gender roles and put them in play. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a foundation of what a healthy relationship can be like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ladies, I need you to understand this because I don't think a lot of women understand this. You are the center of a man's universe. I'm gonna say that one more time. Women, you are a center of a man's universe. Any and everything that we do, we pretty much do it for you all. And I know a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ladies don't believe that, but I can break it down for you. For one, trust me, a dude is not buying a 5-bedroom house and $100,000 vehicle just because that's what he wanted. He just ain't.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't doing it. He's doing it to attract something. Guess what that is? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, think about it. If he buys
You
this
know what,
house, he know you're gonna make it to a home.
Keith? One thing that you said about sacrifice. Only thing is, I agree that, see, in a relationship, I believe you got to sacrifice and invest. Because
Hmm.
when your mate, I've been in a situation where I had to sacrifice and I've already invested. So
Okay.
here's the thing: when my significant other was incapacitated and dying, I had to sacrifice being here with my children so that I could go see about somebody that I was a power of attorney for. I
Hmm.
sacrificed money. I sacrificed time. I shut down my companies so that I could deal with that. So
Hmm.
in marriage, there will be sacrifice. You have to sacrifice as well as invest. There is going to come a time when you have to sacrifice. It may not be finances. It can be time. It can be sleep. If your man is sick and he got or whatever, if you got a colostomy bag or whatever the case may be, I got
Hmm.
to sacrifice getting up every so often and changing it, whatever. Just like you have to sacrifice for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I got to sacrifice sleep. If I got a nurse still my all night long, they got to have medicine all around the clock.
Hmm.
That's a sacrifice. That's not an investment. And so
I
when it
think
comes
so.
to
No, I think it
relationships, you
is
got to do
though.
both. You got to
Look,
do
I think
both.
we're on the same page, but I think it's still an investment to me. The reason why I say it's an investment is you just getting the return on your investment right now.
Yeah,
You done
but see, those
invested
are also
already. You
things that
just
you don't
receiving the
really
return.
want to do. but you have to do it because
Yeah.
you care and you love that person.
Right. You're
Real
right.
quick, DL, before you go, Latasha says, before he says, she says that book was key to me understanding how men see our actions as women. I learned that I have to respect his priorities as much as I want him to respect mine. I began to see how much he needed me to be his peace at home after he deals with the world.
Yes.
We know we want your food when you order, and that's hot. And that's that. And let's see. Well, dang, Lady J, that was more than 2 cents. You just paid all the tithes and offerings. She says both is required in a healthy marriage. A sacrifice may not get anything in return and should not expect one. An investor usually expects a return, and that's okay if there is an agreement on the return. Some people marry to emotional and mental loan sharks. So I agree. When you invest in
Mm.
something, you are getting something in return. You
Yeah.
both are investing into this life that you're building together, and both of
Right.
you are going to reap the benefits. But
Right.
when you're sacrificing, you're not expecting anything in return, but it still it still helps the overall vision of what it
I
is
agree.
that you all are trying to build. So yes, in
Hmm.
that instance, they do play hand in hand.
Right.
Go ahead, Deal.
Deal. What you got for us, bro?
I just try to stop breaking up with my wife every day. You know, um, I
I just
just
got one
Really,
question, dear.
Deal.
uh,
Who be instigating the breakup?
I leave home every day. I leave home every day,
She
and
said y'all need to go on the road with this.
she think I'm going to work. Although I stop by off work, I be on my way some out of town, and then it just the Lord lead me back home, and I say, well, I guess it's one more day. Um, but on the real, man, I just say uh, that you got to make sure that it's like being a parent, right? When you became a parent, you didn't know the type of parent you were going to be when your child was 15. You just knew
Mhm,
that you was holding the greatest thing that you ever had in your hand at that hospital. You just knew
Hmm.
when you smelled that baby, that was the best smell that you had ever inhaled. Just like you did when you held that woman, that's that mother's child, that's now your wife's hand for the very first time. Them goosebumps, them
mhm,
butterflies, you got to keep going back and finding that source. So take it day by day. And what attracted you 9 times out of 10 is not going to maintain you because, again, like
Hmm.
I said earlier, maturity is the factor that a lot of people don't factor in.
Yep.
People are going to
mhm,
change. I'm not going to like to do, nor am I going to be able to do a lot of things we used to do. So we got to continue to grow in this space called marriage. And it doesn't have enough room for growth and selfishness.
Hmm.
right.
It's not going to
Hmm.
maturate together. So you're going to have to say, whether it's an investment or a sacrifice, you're going to have to say, today, I don't feel like hearing your story about work, but today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen attentively and smile and be on your side about what happened at your job today. I may not feel like going to this sporting event. But guess what? Today I'm going to this sporting event because it's not
Mhm.
about you, it's not about me, it's about us. And
Us.
Yep.
and
Right.
once we
Absolutely.
stop looking at that this is split, it's not a you, it's not a me, it's a
For us.
us. How are
Yep.
we
Mhm.
gonna take care of our home? How are we gonna
Right.
take care of our children? How are we gonna take care of our mental space? So I would
Mhm.
say go into it knowing that you have a teammate and as
Yep.
a former professional athlete, the winning clubhouse or locker room are the locker rooms where the teammates like coming to work with each other.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree.
And let me just
100%.
say too for women, lastly, look, glorifying this independent lifestyle, being independent is necessary when you're single because you have to be able to take care of yourself. However, you also have to be willing to be codependent,
That's
meaning
what I'm
that you
talking
can work
about.
with someone, you can depend on each other. Let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody listen. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all young people, anybody that tell y'all trying to glorify their single life and glorify being a single parent is BS. I'm tell you right now. Because ain't nothing glorious, ain't nothing lovely and wonderful about it except the children themselves and except maybe the freedom. However, We were not created to be alone, which is why you have an overwhelming sense sometimes of loneliness. And some of
Mm-hmm.
y'all get to the point where y'all just desperate and just and accept any and everything or everybody just to say you have somebody. This is not the way that it was set up to be. However, it is important that you do the work for yourself. It is important that you develop a sense of holding yourself accountable and doing self reflection on a consistent basis.
Basis.
On a
What you say it's all
consistent
right to be
basis.
codependent? You said it's all right to be codependent?
I said you can be independent, but you also need to know how to be codependent so you can depend on one another when you
Right.
get with somebody. Here's the
Because
thing
sometimes
you
they don't
don't,
mind. Sometimes they don't mind copay. They don't mind when
yeah.
we copay. We yeah.
So being again, that's part of being codependent. Like I said, if he's
Mm-hmm.
down financially or he need help, stop talking about oh you ain't paying no bills. I watched a video that went viral of this woman that sat down and told her husband, "I quit my job today." And he like, "What you mean you quit your job?" She said, "I'm not doing it no more. I'm not working. Um, you need to figure out how you gonna pay the bills. I'm tired of working. I'm not paying no bills. It's your job to pay." Now, mind you, they got kids. They got four kids too, and he works 16-hour days. Her job ain't no 16 hours. So here's the thing: if in the day and age that we are in, and the jobs that are available, please understand, people, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. I'm gonna tell
Not
you
for
that right now.
everybody
As
at all.
somebody that owns more than one company, yes, that was for me. Some people are meant to serve in a career. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Some people are in product industry, service industry. God gave everybody a set of tools and gifts. It ain't for everybody. So
How old are
everybody
them
doesn't
kids?
have. She did. They didn't say. They didn't even show the kids, but they were
Man,
arguing. And
I'd have put them kids in the car. I'd have took them to daycare. I'd have went to work, and she'd have never seen us no more.
yeah, listen, and the fact that she did that, and here's another thing too: the fact that she did that without consulting her husband. When I say consulting, just like he consults you with
There's no
decisions that he's
respect
going to
there.
make, at the end of the day, he has the final say because he is the leader. You have to trust in his leadership. If you don't trust that man with your life and with the resources and stuff that y'all have, then you don't need to be with him. But he also needs to consider you, and you need to consider him when you make moves like that. And so, if you're not willing as a woman to help financially, emotionally, mentally, socially, spiritually, then you don't need to be married. And that's just it. You are a help me. It don't say that you only help in this area. A
Mm.
help me, it goes through every single from working to maintaining and managing and all of that. Proverbs 31. Go read it. The whole thing. Okay. If you're not willing to help him out in all of those aspects, and at least get y'all to the point at least then where y'all can be comfortable and you can quit your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, he's gonna
If you
tell you to
can't do
quit.
that, then you don't need to be there. And even if you was quitting your job, don't no man want no lazy woman. You still need to find something productive to do with your life
Mm-hmm.
because everybody has a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
that's just
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, Latasha says, "Wow, that's good. People will change. Hell, I barely like me now. I'm literally on a journey to love I'm literally on a journey to love me as I am. My husband and I decided to always learn each other. We stay flirting and asking each day how we
That's
feel, what we
good.
need, and so on. I love that."
I
She says,
love it.
"Teach everyone want to be a boss until they have to be one." That part.
Mm-hmm.
She has places with Fluffy the Puffy. Sway says, "Amen." Latasha says, "Hey, Sway." Latasha, she's laughing. So here's the thing, and women, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to show that man that you are help me before he asks you to marry him. Ain't no
Mm-hmm.
man gonna marry a woman where she ain't dealt with him in some type of way. I don't care how small or big in the trenches. That's gonna show him that you are a wife. Because
You
again, when
willing?
he meets you, you are already supposed to be a wife, not a girlfriend that turns into a wife. But when he
Mm-hmm.
meets you, if he don't have if he need $20, so a guy was sick. He was on social media the other day. He was sick. He asked his girl, a girl that he been dealing with for like 3 months. They been dating. He was sick. He asked her to go and pick him up something to eat for $20. She says, "Yeah, I'll pick you up something to eat if you don't send the money." He says, "You mean to tell me I gotta pay for it And
Did he lock the
have
door?
you come and
Did he
bring it.
change the locks? Did he
He,
change the
he,
lock?
he stopped talking to her, and I would have too. First
Yep.
of all, if it didn't work and you can't get it, and he need it right now, I would have paid for it and sent it to wherever he was at.
Fellas,
It's
if you
on the
want to know
way.
if
If he can
she,
wait,
if fellas, you want
I
to
don't
know if she's
understand.
the, if fellas want to know if she's the woman of your dreams and the woman is down for you, then this is what you do. Just be at the dinner table or be on the couch watching Netflix and just pee on yourself and say, "Oh my God, oh my God,
The comedian in you.
my bladder pills. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. If she gets you up to that bathroom and she puts you in that tub and clean you, boy, you better not look at another woman ever. But
The comedian in you.
if she look at you, if she look at you like something wrong with you, man, that ain't the woman for you, man. Because you're gonna get old and your bladder gonna get bad, and one day you just might pee on yourself, and she gonna leave
And
you there
let
in
me
your
just
pee.
say, I've
Oh
already
my
served in that
God.
capacity. I done already wiped a man's
Oh.
behind and took care of him and fed him. I done already did all that. If you're not willing to serve him in all of those ways, a man, and I'm just going off of what men have told me, what my uncles have told me. My uncle said how he knew his wife was the one. They've been together over 30 something years. Is that she not only did she encourage him, but she served him, she put him first, and she took care of him. He had 3 strokes. She's a nurse
Mm,
by trade, but she
mm.
took care of him. She worked long 16, 18-hour shifts as a nurse and then
Take care of
came home, fed him, changed him, you know what I'm saying, helped him in
And he
rehab
had three
and
strokes.
therapy and stuff. 3 strokes.
Boy,
And when I tell you my
she was
uncle,
wearing the hell out of him.
shut up. When I tell you my uncle, and that's the man who has stepped in as like a father figure to me in life, has given me advice on men. And when he talks about her with so much reverence and honor, and he has never, ever, ever cheated on her in any shape, form, or fashion. Not in words, not in text, not in email, ever. And yes, they have separated before because she got tired and burnt out, and those are things that he had to realize and stuff that he was like he appreciates that because she didn't have to. Those things are rough, it's hard, so you need time to decompress. Men, when she's helping you decompress, you also need to be attentive to her. Know when she's having a bad day. Ask her how her day went. She shouldn't be the one asking you, "How was your day, baby?" All the time. What can I do? How can I help? You need to be attentive as well. We know it's hard out here for you. We know you a man. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. If you got a good woman, she's trying to help ease some of that load. But you got to remember, you got to reciprocate that though as well. Because while you out in the world, I mean, a lot of us too are out here too. However, we know it's harder for you, especially as a black man. But
Yeah.
remember that while you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, not only are we out here in this world too dealing with stuff, but then we got to come home and we got to deal with the weight of everybody in the house. We everybody's counselor. We everybody's nurse. We serving everybody. We meeting everybody's needs in this household. You know what I'm saying? So you got to remember that one is not one. I'll say workload is not greater than the other, but
Hmm.
they both have the same amount of weight. You know what I'm
Responsibility.
saying? Just in different ways, just in different forms. So,
I agree.
Latasha said, "Someone please call 911." Just fell out. All right, man. Listen, y'all. This has been a great conversation tonight. I am so excited to be back. I'm hoping to be. Y'all pray that they actually clear
Yeah.
me 100% tomorrow at the doctor. So we'll have the whole setup tonight. We just got the plain background and stuff because I didn't want y'all to think we was actually on air on radio because we're not tonight. We just went live on StreamYard. Shout out to DL Marshall, who has also been running neck and neck #1 show on JQLM Radio with the Morning Smoke, who decided to come and be a guest tonight as always. And my co-host Keith Omar. I think we got Keith Jackson tonight. We didn't get Keith Omar tonight because
Yeah,
he
I
wasn't
know I
off the
wasn't out
chain
here tonight
tonight.
because I'm
So
trying. Look, I have God been working on me. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, no, I'm damn serious now. Like God been working on me. I've been on my I've been on this kick. I've been really pushing myself, with my purpose. I found out what my purpose is, and
Mhm.
I've been pursuing it hard. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
am at
awesome.
I'm at a standstill with it right now, and I'm praying that the Lord just He blesses me in my purpose with instruction and direction. So I
Mhm.
decided I was like I decided I was just gonna be still. It's my time to kind of be still and figure it
Mhm.
and allow him to bring it to me, so I can
Yeah.
go ahead and take it and move with it. But yeah, I am like, cause like I tell people all the time, hey, God, look, my father was Pastor Jackson. He was holier than thou. Look, Keith is cool. Omar can be an asshole, but I only need to be an asshole when needed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes you need to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But tonight I ain't have to do all that. You know what I mean? So it was Keith Jackson today, and Omar was a spectator. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
um. Real quick, Latasha says, I literally could not walk a few weeks ago. I couldn't do anything on my
Mm,
own, and my husband took care of me like I was a newborn baby. That was
that's
something
what's
I
up.
always feared as an independent person, but that blessed my entire soul to experience that love and not just hear it. So
Yeah,
glad you are back. You all were fire. Just keep listening to him. Stay in position, Keith, and listen. She's talking to you. She's talking
yep,
about listening to God. And
yeah,
and let me say that's one thing how you know that you have found the one, uh, and even good friends too, is that when you make each other better.
yeah,
When if you are someone who did not have a and I'm talking to believers right now, or people who have questions. If you are someone who is not has not been really tapped into, you know who God is, you've experienced him for yourself, but you kind of strayed away from your actual relationship with God, and that woman or that man draws you closer to him, baby, listen, that's how you know it's God. That's how you know it's of God, because anybody that's drawing you from him ain't it. And when
man,
they're drawing you to him, that's it, because he's gonna be that third strand that you need to keep that thing going. Because let me tell you, there are gonna
hmm,
be days that y'all don't like each other, but you still love each other. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You still love each other, and it's gonna be hard times. Everything ain't peaches and cream, but in the trenches together, y'all figure that stuff out, y'all work it out, and you keep moving forward and bump what everybody else say or what they
You
doing.
see, I
So
ain't at home. You see, I ain't at home yet.
here you go. Here you go. And let me just say, it also is an indication of letting you know when you have to walk away. Because
hmm,
let's be honest, so I'm gonna end it on here, because I had to tell myself this before, and I had to tell my father this, and I'm gonna say this because he talked about it on online before too. People always say what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. The key words, key phrase in that is what God has joined together. It don't say what you went out there and got into
right,
and
got
he
it to
didn't
me.
tell you to. When he gives you a way of escape, you better take it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because if not, you are responsible for the things, like we said before, you are responsible for the things that you decide to take on yourself when he didn't tell you to do that. He told you that
Hmm,
that was the one by showing you will see that text message or so and so inboxed you and showed you something, and yet you stayed, and yet you kept taking. So you can't blame nobody but yourself. You got to take responsibility for your decisions.
hmm,
So sometimes your worst is your own doing,
yep.
as a male or female. That's your own doing. So that's exactly why I will slap the eyelashes off of Grizzly for mine. And
That's
Will,
right.
Natasha, because I'm the same way. And
That's
Will,
right.
and Will. So listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us tonight,
No
for talking to
doubt.
us. It feels good to be back. I'm still working on a few things, still a little discombobulated, but these fellas here always has some good insight, always keep a level head. And shout out to DL for always uh always trying to cause friction on purpose, to make people think critically and carry on. I appreciate it, but it's the comedian in him. So, fellas, y'all got anything that y'all want to say real quick before we get off of here?
I just
Just
gotta
thank
say
you guys,
peace.
man. Yeah, thank y'all again for the opportunity, man. I have a good time every time I get a chance to come on and ride with y'all. People, man, like I said, just make sure you taking the time to love yourself first. That's the only way you can love anybody else. Keep God first. And Keith, man, it's a beautiful thing when you find out what your purpose is, man. I remember the day
Yes,
that my purpose
yes,
illuminated on me, and God showed me. He said to encourage, uplift, and inspire. And
Yeah.
so everything from then on, if it did not have one of those components, I knew it wasn't God
Ain't for
leading me
me.
there. So
That's
y'all
exactly
just
where I'm
remember,
at
man,
right now.
the gospel of Jesus Christ is contagious. Catch it.
Yeah.
I know that's right. Ain't it
Hey,
though?
look, I ain't have to catch it. It jumped on me. I ain't have to catch it. It jumped on. And trust me, Jesus got hands. Jesus got hands. Trust me. Jesus got hands. I'm telling y'all
He
right
Yeah,
did,
now.
boy.
boy. Listen, don't he know?
Jesus
Because
got hands.
he either snatch you out of something, you know what
Yeah.
I'm
Tear
saying,
you
or
every
tap you
which
real
way
good.
but loose.
Hey,
Every which
Jesus.
way but loose.
I'm trying to tell you, if y'all don't believe it, trust me, Jesus got hands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
He
do.
yes,
use
he
them.
does.
He use them. He use
They
them
can
good.
Oh yeah.
either be chastening or healing. The choice is yours.
Right?
That's ain't that it? That's right. Or they can be the blessings, you
There
know,
you
hmm
go.
the
He go.
shadow of the blessings. Yeah.
Look.
I
He gonna lay hands on you one way or the other.
One way
I'm,
or the other.
look. It's gonna be righteous or it's gonna be righteous. You take your pick. You just take your pick. Now I'm telling you. Trust me. You talking? Look, you ain't talking to just a believer. You talking to somebody who experienced. I'm
There you
trying to
I
go.
tell
know
you.
that's right.
I'm
Yes,
trying to
Listen,
sir.
tell you.
I
Ain't
think
no
we
fun
all
behind
have.
that
Hey, listen. Jesus got
Mm-mm,
hands.
not at all.
I'm
So y'all
trying to
know,
tell you.
listen, this is relationshipology, the study of relationships, where together we either fall or fly. It's your choice.
Yep.
Hey, so this is your girl, Lady J, with Keith Omar, our guest comedian DL Marshall. Thanks for coming on again. Catch us on the fourth Thursday of the month. Will be live on JQLM Radio every second and fourth Thursday of the month. As I said before at the beginning of the show, we reached another level. And shout out to all of you all who have been nominating us and all these award platforms. You will see tomorrow Rhythm of Gospel go out. We have been nominated in two categories: Ego Entertainment. As you all know, JQLM Radio is a division of that as well. Thank you for everybody that's nominated us all of 2023 and those who are nominating us in 2024 for these awards. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you all for rocking with us. We know that a lot of our on-air talent had a lot of major life issues going on. We had some people that was battling cancer, people that had people murdered, the grandkids and stuff murdered. It was so many things going on. The devil was on attack, but he don't like it when we are doing God's will, God's way, and we are constantly not just entertaining, but pouring into, giving positive uh, um, content, educating people, or pouring into people and encouraging people. But that's not going to stop us, of course. So continue to keep those on air talent people in prayer. Continue to pray for us as we pray for you. And we're going to continue, supporting you all, and we're going to continue praying for you all and, pouring into you all as you continue to do for us. So we rock with y'all, all 65 countries that tune into JQLM Radio,
Yeah.
and all of the thousands and thousands of people that follow us on social media, that rock with us, the magazine, everything. Like, y'all, I appreciate y'all. And those of y'all who rock with Lady J, thank you so much for everybody that prayed for me. We had a couple scares. Thank you to all of you who respected my children as they were communicating with you all. I thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. To those of you who sent help, who sent things for my children and things that I needed, I really, really appreciate it. I do not take it lightly. I love y'all for real. Okay, even those of you who was hating, I still love y'all too. Okay, with the love of the Lord.
All
All right,
right
this your
now.
girl, Lady J, and we out.
Peace.